would describe myself as adaptable, passionate, and creative. My motivation behind launching Wanderist Life, it comes from years of wanting to live abroad. So my story is I've been wanting to live out of the country since I was 19 years old. I'm from Tallahassee, which is neither small town nor big city, but the tallest building is 22 stories. I come from Tallahassee, Florida. I grew up, born, raised, educated there, and really, really wanted to get out of the country for just a little while, at least a year, 2 years. And in grad school, I was offered an internship in China. My finance professor picked me out of everybody to do this internship in China. And I had a 3-month-old daughter at the time, and the school would not let me take her with me. So the school considered her a liability and said that she couldn't go. Fast forward to a few years ago, I was looking for jobs in Dubai and in the UAE, and realized that as a project manager and a woman, there would be no jobs for me unless I wanted to teach. And I'm not a teacher, so noted that. And then I stumbled across a program that was very similar to mine, that took people around the world for a year. And I realized very quickly that they don't accept people with children. And so yet again, I'm being met with roadblocks because of who I am and because of my family structure. And I think it was at that point where I said, I'm tired of people telling me what I can and cannot do. So here's the chance for me to step up and create the opportunity for myself. And I'm willing to bet there are a bunch of people out there who think, for whatever reason, that they can't do it either. And so I want to show them that they can. So that was the inspiration behind it. So my ideal travel community is, it's tough to say what's ideal, right? So for me, I typically like to be around people that are obviously open to new experiences. So if I could build the perfect group of people, and actually I did, the group of people I traveled with last year were fantastic. It's people with diverse backgrounds, right? So people who come from, all different places, all different areas, all different backgrounds, who have different personalities, different goals, different aspirations, and who are. One thing that I think is very important in a travel community is that you have people that allow everybody space to be themselves. Because quite often when you get groups of people together, when it does not work out, it's because people have these expectations of each other that, you want people to fit in this box and you want people to be these things for you. And so I think that it's worked really well for us over the last 12 months. We just finished our first year abroad. It worked well for us because each of us accepted every person for who they were, right? So if you're the person that doesn't want to hang out with the group all the time, you're the loner, that's fine. We just know that you may show up to an event and you may only be there for 10 minutes. It's cool, right? And so I think the ideal communities are people that can learn from one another, that can push one another to the next level, and people that will give people the space to kind of be who they are and be who they're going to grow into.
Aside from, and this is not on the related
job. Yeah, absolutely. So I can restate that. So do we look for people to get that have diverse backgrounds, work, right, and experience? Yes, absolutely. So that's not something we necessarily screen for, but it happens naturally. So I think people have this misconception that folks that can travel for long term and work abroad are technical people. And that's not always the case. There's so many remote opportunities and freelance opportunities for people that are in education, HR, accounting, finance, in a number of different areas. And so we had people that had public relations backgrounds, marketing backgrounds, people who have built websites, people who've done content creation. And the beautiful thing about that is when you come into the co-working space and they're all huddled around a table together, helping one another solve problems that relate to their area of expertise. We had people who were in hotel management, who helped us, right? So people that have been in communications and change management. And so I think it's a wonderful, wonderful thing when you have a diverse group of people from a race, age, background, economic, and especially skill sets, because then we can all kind of be there for each other in different ways and kind of help push each other forward. I mean, you get learning and you get growth from the travel experience itself, right? You're putting yourself in a whole nother situation. You're pulling yourself out of everything that's familiar, but you also gain growth from the group of people that you're with. quite often. So my joy really has kind of been in watching the evolution of the people that have gone on the trip. When I think about who we all were July 31st, 2016 in New York, getting ready to board planes, and I think about who we were, July 31st, 2017, leaving Colombia, our last location, it's just incredible the amount of growth. So that's kind of been the joy that for me, how we've been able to to seek joy together. I think one of the most amazing things is that very quickly we kind of became a family. And throughout the year, we've all been very invested in one another's goals and in the things that, we all want to work towards. And I think that's one of the ways that we all found joy is that we always had someone around that had our back, that could give us an encouraging talk, that could give us a pep talk, or, light a fire under us every once in a while when it needed to happen, right? So we've had conversations with people like, I thought you said you were going to build an app. Where's your app? Where's the app? Why haven't you built that? Right? So I think there's been a lot of joy in that. It's easy to say that the joy for most people was in the fact that I built the program in the first place and gave them an opportunity to live a dream that they, may never have done had this not been there, right? I think that's the easy one, right? It's the easy win. They wake up every day and boom, there's Table Mountain in Cape Town. There's obviously joy in that, but I think the big joyous thing this year has been, the connections that we've made with the people that we've traveled with, and the people we've met along the way as well. How have I found a good work-life balance in work? So it's funny. One of my closest friends says this, and I subscribe to it. There really is no such thing as balance. Balance is deciding every day what you're okay with failing at. And I subscribe to it. I agree with it completely. So, I think that quite often we try to be everything, and we think that balance is, being great at all of the things that we want in our lives. And what I've learned is that every single day, what balance looks like to me is saying, these are the things I can be great at today, and these are the things I'm probably going to fail at today, or I'm not going to be great at today. So how I've achieved work-life balance in building this company and in my day-to-day life coming back, it's honestly, it's being honest with myself about what I'm capable of, and making space for those times when I don't have it to give. I think very often, especially as women, especially as Black women, we're kind of hard on ourselves, right? Today I don't feel productive, or, my mind's wandering, or I'm not focused. That's your body telling you that it needs a break. That's your mind telling you that it needs a break. And so I think what's been really, really important for me is paying attention to that and saying, you know what? Today's the day that I'm going to focus on taking a nap and catching up on Queen Sugar. I don't know. Right? So, but also there's this other piece, especially as entrepreneurs, where work-life balance also means being disciplined, because more often than not, if you're working for yourself, sometimes that work-life balance shifts the other way, and it's more life than work as well. So identifying those places where I need discipline, and creating a schedule, and getting out of my house to go co-work in an office or with some other people. So I think it has a lot to do with being honest with yourself at the end of the day. Right. I do actually. So I say this a lot. I tend to think that the universe unfolds as it should. And what I mean by that is not, I say that and it sounds like I have this nonchalant view about how the world is, whatever happens. But I have faith that no matter how things turn out, whether they turn out the way I wanted them to or not, I'll be okay. Things will be okay. And my best friend and I have this conversation often, and she asked me why I don't worry. And I told her, so she and I have been friends since we were 5 years old. So we've been friends for 33 years. Feel free to do the math. And she asked me why I don't worry. And I told her that, for as long as we've known each other, is there anything that you can think of that didn't work out or that we weren't able to just deal with? She was like, no. I was like, God has never given us a reason to think that we aren't capable of dealing with whatever comes, or that things won't turn out well. So the universe unfolds as it should, and I am, I have a lot of faith that no matter what happens, we'll be all right. Because it occurred to me after I changed the name that when I say it, it sounds like I'm saying Wanderist. Okay, so the name of the company is Wanderist Life. They can visit us online at Wanderist, that's WANDERIST life.com. And that's our name on all social media. So if you want to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, or find us on Facebook, we also have a Facebook group for people that want to prepare for long-term travel. We share a lot of tips and have a lot of discussion about that. It's Wanderist Life Community on Facebook as well.